This is my second part about my MP3 Plus, MP3 Player Plus. Well, Tim's. Here we go. Tim's DFPlayer Plus. Okay, so I've got it all together. Here we go. Looks nice and shiny. I give it a clean. What is it? That stuff. That some alcohol thing. You know, that doesn't clean it. I didn't clean it with that. Basically, I'll tell you how I clean this. The best way of cleaning your things. You can sort of whatever alcohol it is. All that does is just move the muck around. If you haven't got a cloth in getting all the places, it doesn't do it. So basically I just put this in the kitchen sink and washed it with fairy liquid. That's how I wash my circuit boards. Obviously not this bit and not this bit. Only the board that I made. Don't put this in. Although I don't think it would worry that. And don't put that in. Well, I don't think it'd worry that without the carding. But I didn't wash these. just my board. In fairy liquid, washing up liquid, then just give it a good rinse and dried it off basically, and now it looks nice and shiny with all the parts on it. So basically what this video is about, from all this tangled mess of wires and stuff to just this the board. So what I'll do is I'll clean the thing up, and well, let's have a look. I've got these speakers. I'm still using my speakers, my little thing. Hang about. What I've done with my little speakers is I put this cable on. What I did with that is I just bought one of these extension leads, which has the two ends on, and I chopped it in half and used one half for one speaker and one half for the other. The speakers are only mono, even though that these are stereo. It doesn't matter. I think you'll probably find the stereo ones are cheaper than the mono ones on the eBay and what have you. So basically that's what I did with that. So yeah, there's my speakers. Now they're in two separate sockets, even though these are stereo sockets to match these plugs. These are actually wired up as mono, and I'll go into a bit more detail with that as to why we've got two separate audio jacks for the two speakers, because, well, I'll go into it later. I did make a mistake. I've got my my program wires on there for programming the microcontroller. I did make a mistake and I had to alter it, because once I made the board up, when I went forward the numbers went. I like them to go higher when they go clockwise and lower when I go anti-clockwise. I think everybody does. So I had to just swap the pins round in the firmware. And what else is there? Hang on. Oh yes, and basically I totally screwed up my wiring on these jacks. I'll tell you about that when we look at the circuit board, and when I tell you about why we've got two for the different speakers. But basically I thought, well, and because we're talking about an audio thing, I had to go hunting round for some, hopefully YouTube isn't going to pick these music up. I think we're above 20. Let's try 25. Everything below 20 is Halo, so I can't play that. I think it was 4. I think it was quite a funny thing. Not that one. try 25. I don't know if you can hear that. Hang on. I put it next to my microphone. What I did, that is yeah. Why I screwed up there, basically. Yeah, okay, stop that. Anyways, that was supposed to be a bit of pun. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just clear the decks and come back, and just give me a minute. Hello everyone, I've cleared the decks, right. Alright, I was talking about these jacks earlier, and I've put stereo jacks on, and there's a reason for it actually. And when I was on about these cables, we do, it's best to have, well yeah, you need to use a stereo jack in them. What I've done is I've wired the left and right channel together in each one. It's the way I have these speakers wired up. What I've done is I've wired one speaker on the left channel. Yeah, which one's it? Yeah, that one there. I've wired up on the left channel, so which the left channel is the tip, and I've wired the other one, this one, I've wired the other speaker on the right channel, so these cables, so you know you've got your ground. Hang on, let's see if I can get a better picture there. Let's see if we can focus a bit. No, get some light on. That's better. The reason for the resistor is because the speakers are actually 6 ohms, so I've had to put a 2 ohm resistor on. There's a reason for that, and like I say, you've got your common wire, which was the green one, and then you've got your, which one's this one? This is the right channel. So the white one is the right channel and the red one is the left channel. So this speaker's wired up for the right channel, which is the ring on a stereo, and then you've got your common, which is the shaft here. So the reason for that is when I'm sticking these into a proper stereo jack, you get the left. This one will give me my left, and the other. This one will give me my right, and the other one will give me the left. Now, so, but on here, well, I'll talk to you about that later. See what the next thing is. Let's get rid of my my probes. Yeah. Oh, when I make a circuit board that has a microcontroller on it, I usually put 4 little pads on. I don't put a proper header on. They're way too big. Really, sometimes I just want somewhere small where I can just put a little tiny pad, and then I have this lead I've made up. This plugs into my programmer, and the programmer has a certain sequence, but it's just a 4-pin thing. Where are we? Is it that one? Yeah, it's this one. Yeah, this is my swim lead. Swim single wire. Forgotten what the other IM is for. Interface module or something like that, I think. Oh yeah, and so that just plugs into there like that, and so I just have this lead where I can just solder little. It's a nice flexible lead, and it has some stiff wires on the end, and so I can just solder them onto some nice little tiny pads, and that'll fit on the small boards that I make. So that's what. So I'll just get rid of those. because I've done the programming now. Have I got my glasses on? Yeah. Yeah, so see if I can get that focused. Is that looking alright? Oh, I've got my glasses on. Yeah, sort of. Hope for best. So I'll just get rid of those. There. So basically, I have that for my little boards where I don't want some big header for programming, and it just takes up. Let's see if we can get that in focus. It's just 4 little pads I just solder onto. That's all it is. I've spread them about. Oh, hang on. I've spread them. Hang on. I'm not getting this in focus, am I? There. I don't know if you can see them there. There's the 4. Anyways, it says single wire interface module, but you obviously need VCC and ground, and you also need a reset. So the microcontroller knows when you're done. Okay, right. Well, let's see if I can improve on my videoing. Right. So my board's ready. Now then, there's one thing you need. If anybody ever wants to make one of these, it's the next bit is very important. Right. So hang on out. Here we go. Right. Right. Yeah, I bought this quite a while ago. This little MP3 module. It's got my mod on, which I showed you before, I think. And the reason I've written stereo on there is so I know this one from this one, and I've wrote mono shit on that one because this is mono. This one is stereo. I bought it from an eBay supplier. I bought them both from the same eBay supplier, and thankfully the eBay let me get it out. The eBay supplier was very cooperative, very helpful. He's refunded me money because I don't think he was aware, but I don't know if you can tell the difference. Apart from my writing, can you tell the difference? Let me just clear the decks. I'll get them down here, and I'll put them side by side. Let's try and zoom in a bit. Yeah, is that working? Yeah. Yeah, let's get a bit closer. Right, let's just move them across, and let's see if we can focus. That looks sort of alright, I hope. I think there's a lot of blur in there, isn't there? Anyway, can you see the difference? Let's get something to point with. Right, there's not many components on top here. This is a good one. It's full. It's got the three components on there and the LED in the middle. This one has only got 2 on this side and 2 on that side with the LED in the middle. What I'm going to do is to turn them over. Let's get a bit closer. See if that zooms in better. Is that better? Yeah, that's better. Right, let's just move the cables out of the way because that's me mod. Yeah, so let's just try and get them. Well, you are going to be able to tell because the other side is the side that you need to look at, and it's the side they don't show in the pictures on eBay. So I don't know if you can see the difference there. Let's have a look. Like I say, I only use my phone camera, so I'm sorry about the image, but they look pretty much the same, but you can see that there is a lot more components there's a lot more components on this one than there is on this one, and the reason why is because this is stereo, so it needs twice as many as components as this one. This one being only mono. Oh right, let me just explain. I'm talking about this big chip. This big chip is mono and this big chip is stereo. The amplifiers, these small chips, they're still the same. They're both the mono amplifiers. I think I explained that on the previous video, but the amplifiers are just mono. They've always been just mono, but this chip is a stereo chip and this chip is a mono chip, and it's important because what I'm going to do, I'll give you I'll bring up some pictures in a moment, but I just want you to sort of look at these two and compare. The easy way is to see all these components inside going down the right and left. The good one is the one that's full, and the bad one is the one that's half empty. You know, it's got this blank space here basically. I'll tell you what these chips are in a minute. That's in the next bit. I'll pause and then bring up some data sheets and tell you what these chips are. Okay, so that was something. Hang on, let's just zoom that out a bit. No, wrong way. There we go. Yeah, I think if we just sort of get to that point. There, that doesn't look too bad. Get everything into shot. Right, so yeah, I've got my my little OLED, OLED, organic LEDs display, and it's important that, hang on, let's just get this on. The one that we use, I'll just try and zoom in, or focus shall I say. There we go, can you see it? It's from on the top left to right, it's ground, VCC, SCL and SDA. So we've got the ground, power, we've got the clock, and then we've got the data. That's what we need. It's I2C. Right, yeah, so that's that. I'm going to do, well, let's just focus again. There we go. Right, so yeah, that's the shit one. That's the shit one. Basically, that's pretty much useless to me. So what I'm going to try and do is find another proper one with the right chip on, just have a spare because this one's going in here. So on my board I've got like a little pin there. That's for this wire that I've taken off. I showed on the previous video, and that just plugs in there. I'm not used to this working with cameras. Right, that plugs in there. Have we got that in shot? Yeah, so that goes in there. Let me just put it on the down here just so I can get that wire tucked away. And it goes into that socket. There we go. So you can see that the wire's in there and it's in that socket there. And basically I've made that flush to the front because I'm going to make a box exactly the same size as this this board. Actually it might be just a little bigger, just because it's the way this fits. I'm going to have to make it a little bigger so it goes in and then slots in, but we'll come to that when I make a box for it. When I make a box for it, I will also be making, like I did with my other thing, I'll be making a support for this. So this will be supported by a little 3D print thing, but that just basically plugs into that header there, like that. So that goes on there like that. And I've used a now then, a mini USB on here. I should have really used a micro, because you can still get plenty of leads for a micro, but I just went for the mini basically. Also on here I've put places for a header or wires where you can actually put another USB, which is it the A? This socket's an input, and what you want is the output one. An output one, anyway, I'll tell you what an output one looks like. I've got one somewhere. Yeah. There. That one. Let me just find something that plugs into it. Right. Yes. So things with this on are inputs. I mean, not the data. I mean the power. The power go. If you've got one of these plugs, this is a plug. This is a socket. So if you've got one of these plugs, then the power goes into it. It doesn't go out, and the power comes out of this. This is an output power. So this goes. When this goes in there, it gives power to the device. Whereas, let me just find the lead. Right, so this is another plug. So, like I say, these are both plugs, but this plug is the power goes into it, whereas this plug, the power comes out of it, if you get my meaning. And so when you put one of these plugs into a socket, the socket receives the power. Okay? Right, hang on, let's just, so we've got that anyway, right. Yes, so on here, I've also put, don't know if we can see that, I've made my own. I'll show you this in the model on the computer as well. I've got two little rings here, and basically what they do, they are for. Let's just get one. Untangle it. Right. We know what our standard oscilloscope probe looks like. We have a crocodile clip and we have a hook. So what this can do, I've got one ground and one probe. You can read it from underneath. Anyway, you'll know which one's which when you build it. So basically, what we can do is we can put our crocodile clip onto that ring. Can we see that? Yep. And we can put our probe onto that ring. There we go. So it's all held nice and hunky-dory. Okay, that is for the start signal, the sync signal. If you want to use this device as to send samples, like Richard did and Detlef did on, you'll need to see their video. This is what that part of things are based on. It was a very good idea. I liked it, so I built it. So let's get rid of that. Right, so like I say, our speakers. You know, if you put a cable down, you can be guaranteed it wraps itself around every other cable you've got on the bench. Can't you? Like what just happened. Right, so that one goes in there, and that one goes in there. All right, yes, right. So I think, yes. Right. Just up to this. Right, yeah, and so I've gone for the mini socket for the power. So right, what I plan to do. Oh yeah, nearly forgot. Right, so on here there's two more connectors. This is for power in, and you can see I've put a slot here for cables to come out from underneath up to the and plug in here. Because what I'm going to do is I am going to get one of these LiPo batteries. I am going to get a buck converter and a charger unit to connect to these so that it can actually be run off a battery. But that's another part, so that'll be another story. So at the moment we've just got that, and like I say, I can't on this SD card I've got a load of I've got the Halo soundtracks on here. It's quite nice to listen to actually. So we need to go past 20. 20. Oh, I think 20 is the sound sample I made, just for demonstration purposes. Let's get that light pointing away. Frig. How's that? No. How's that? Yeah, that's out of shot. So we're at that stage. Case to be made. Yeah, I've used buttons for start. So what I've done is I've got a stop button. I've got a play and repeat. So basically pressing this button plays the current track selected, and it keeps repeating that. And every time it repeats, it flashes. It sends a signal here, and there's also an LED there to say. So if this is the let's see what this is. Whoa, yeah, right. So that's the sequence thing. Let's just turn it down. So click on here, change it to volume adjustment, and I click back, turns it to track adjustment. It doesn't start and stop with this click. All this click does is change from either track or volume. So let me just try that again. Right. I don't know if you can hear that. But I'll let it run, and I'll try and get my microphone close. Well, I'll move the speaker close. No, this one, save not tangling myself up. I hope that ain't too loud. But you can see that every time it starts, we get the flash of the pulse. Sorry, I hope that wasn't loud. Right, and we've got the stop button. So what I've also put on it, because I've done the reason I've done this is to have two amplifiers, because like I said, the actual amplifiers are mono amplifiers, and you can only attach one speaker. Don't listen to what anybody else says about putting two speakers on these. It's one speaker only. It's the type of amplifier that's on there. I think I've mentioned it already. And so what I've done is I've added another amplifier down here, which does the other channel from the DAC. Because basically what the chip does, it sends a signal out. It has this on this one. This has two DACs. Really, it's digital to audio converters, and this one has two, and this piece of shit has only one DAC on it. So this one has two DACs. So basically you've got left and right channels coming out your DACs, and they both go to the mono amplifier, which to stop them merging together before the amplifier, they're separated by capacitors, so you don't get both channels coming out the DAC pins. They go through capacitors, and then they're linked together, and then there's another capacitor to the amplifier. And what I've done is I've removed the merge, and I've run only one to the amplifier that's on the module, and I've run the other DAC to this amplifier on the board. And so basically we get one amplifier running this connection, and we get the other amplifier connected to this connection. I forget what type of amplifiers they are. Basically, there isn't a common ground. The two outputs from the amplifiers are both going to the speaker. One's a push and one's a pull. So you can't link these two together. You have to have one connection for one speaker and one connection for the other speaker. And I'll explain why I've joined the two together. Right. Well, I explained that you see these speakers. This is me left. This is me right. Sorry, and this is me left. And I've wired it up left and right on these pins. But for these to pick them both up, no matter which one they're plugged into, the left and right are linked on the sockets. If you get my meaning. I think that's enough of that. Let's play a little bit of music. Oh, that's volume. Let's try track 1. Let's see if you can hear that. But this track, well, you're not going to hear it in stereo because I haven't got a stereo microphone. But if we play it, hang on. Oh, I've got that under there. Right. All right. I'm just going to try and. There's the sound coming out from this one. I hope you can hear that. I'll just turn it up a bit, just in case. Right. And then we've got the right channel coming out from this one. So you'll have to take my word for it, but we have stereo here. Because here, I'll just start again. Right, we've got a beat here going, and this one's going ding to ding, ding to ding. So I can't make both. I don't know if you want to try it, but there's a beat here, and this is going ding, and I can't do both hands at the same time. But anyway, this track I found that you can tell it's stereo because it's separate things coming out of each one. Okay, so I hope you like that. I'm going to do an instructable on this as well. Oh right, yeah, I nearly forgot, didn't I? Let's just turn that off. Oh right, I was on about the buttons. Right, yeah, right. So this is stop. This is repeat, which this one's the track you've chosen and repeat. Let's just put that. The track you've chosen and it keeps repeating it. This button will, because if you're using it, that's the button you use if you're using it as a test piece, so that every time the track repeats, it flashes the sync pulse. But this button is if you're using it as just as an MP3 player to listen to music through some speakers. So this button, when you press this button, whatever track you've chosen, this button will move on to the next track afterwards, and then the next track. So and then when that's finished, it'll go to the next track. So this button just repeats everything that you have on your SD card. These two buttons, I've marked them. Hang on, I don't know if you can see there. Right. So you need to see the DFPlayer datasheet. And that's what these two buttons, basically what these two buttons is, it ignores this and it ignores the processor. So you can have, basically what I can do is I can unplug that out there, and you just use these two buttons, and this will play the track. And I press it again, it'll play the next track. And if I hold it in, it'll turn the volume up, and if I hold this down, the other one, it'll turn the volume down, and this button will then reverse the other way around again. So basically these two buttons are just wired to the actual MP3 player and do what their buttons were supposed to do. Let's see if I can get this in without putting it in the wrong place and shorting it out. Right, that's in there. But the thing is, you need to reset the microcontroller to actually reset the LCD. It's just plugging it in won't bring it back to life again, because when you actually start talking to an LCD or OLED, shall I say, you need to now let's get. You need to set all the settings on it and bring it alive, basically, and then it'll do what you tell it to. Okay, so that's enough of that. That's all done there. Right, let's get back to my circuit on the computer, which I have. I'm afraid I use KiCad. So let's just open that up, and we'll zoom in. So this, what it says DFR 299. This is basically, hang on, let's just bring the picture back, minimize that. That is this whole module. It's the module. It's with these. That's what coming out of these pins here on this module. So let's just bring that back. Where are we? KiCad. Right, yeah. So we've got 1 to 16, I think. I'm sure it was 1 to 16. So like, where? Oh, let me. I knew I was going to forget something. Yeah. I just knew it. Right. Actually, I think I can just save myself. No, it's not that one. Right, I'm going to pause, guys. I forgot to get something. There we go, we're back. Yeah, I found it. There we go. There's our DFPlayer. Yeah, you can see that this has got it's got three passive components here and three passive components here and an LED in the middle. Whereas the other one, the crap one, the mono one, doesn't have that. It doesn't have. Actually, I think I've got the a view underneath. Let me just. I'll come back to them. Yes, you can see there underneath there. You can see these are. It's totally filled down both sides. Totally filled down both sides, and it has the resistors and capacitors that we need to connect to on this. It is this. The amplifier is still the same. It's still a mono amplifier. But this chip is different, and so it doesn't need half these components, because the chip on the other one, like I've said and I keep repeating, it only has one DAC. Sorry if I keep repeating, guys. I just want to make sure it's clear. So you might just want to skip through my videos just to find bits of information, and so if I keep repeating. Oh, right, and the other thing I was going to mention, I've just remembered as well, I was going to mention why there's two grounds here. You can see there's a ground on the right, and you can see there's a ground on the left. And you can see these two speaker ones. You've got a speaker plus and a speaker minus. And it's called speaker. They actually call it speaker 1, but they shouldn't do. It's speaker plus. Take my word for it. It's speaker plus, not speaker 1. And you got speaker 2, which is speaker minus. So forget the 1 and 2. You can't put two speakers on. It's just one. And one wire goes to the plus and one wire goes to the minus, and it's a push and pull thing. this negative goes negative and this plus goes plus, so you get a louder, more powerful bang out of the speakers. The reason there's a ground between these two speakers is because of these tabs here. Can you see that tab for the SD card and the tab for this SD card? These two tabs are that close to these pins, they've made them ground pins, and that's the only reason you have a ground over here, is because these two tabs, they wanted to make it small as they could, and these two tabs had to be ground because that's where these two tabs go. If you look at the one you have, you'll see that this tab as well, next to the TX pin, this isn't hardly connecting. It should be lifted slightly so it doesn't actually touch this pin. If it touches this pin, you've had it. It won't work. Well, no, it will work, but it won't work with serial communication, because what it'll do, it'll ground this TX pin. So the keys work and everything, but if you are connecting to one of these using the serial, so you've got the RX and TX wires, just make sure that this tab isn't touching this pin, otherwise you'll get nowhere basically. So if you've ever bought one of these and you think, why doesn't my serial connection work on one of these MIDI players, it's probably because this tab here is touching that TX pin. So yeah, there's another piece of useful information. I hope you was useful. Right, yes, so where was I? Oh right, yeah, the speakers, yes. So there's only one speaker, and it has a negative terminal and a positive terminal on the speaker, and that's what you connect them two pins to. And so this is the actual module itself that we were just looking at. That's this module, which has got the speaker. So we've got pin 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's on 6 and 8. And there we go, 6 and 8. And you see, in the data sheet, it says speaker 1 and speaker 2. It shouldn't be. It should be speaker plus and speaker minus. This is what confuses people with the ground in between. Okay, so they go to the output, and this is the other amplifier, which has V out 1 and V out 2. Okay, which is speaker right 1 and speaker right 2. And you see I've renamed this speaker left 1 and speaker left 2, which are speaker left 1 and 2. This is my left speaker, this is my right speaker. You see, these two pins connect to the same pins on the amplifier that's on this module. I'm just showing the pins of the module, not the actual chips there. And yes, so because it's a push and pull, you can't use a common ground. They have to be connected. The speakers have to be, this has to be connected to speaker positive and this to speaker negative. So what I did, I made a mistake on my original board. I've moved it, but what I did was I put that there. Basically, when you put the plug in, it just shorted it to ground, the speaker to ground, so it didn't work. I did the same down here as well. Basically, what my mistake was, I did that. I was reading this wrong. I didn't realise that this was this ground one. I thought I was looking in from this end, not the other end. So yeah, where are we? Yeah, so now I've corrected it. So what the reason I've connected these two together is because it is a mono channel, and if you try to run headphones or stuff off it, it's gonna give you a mono output basically. If you put like say if you put headphones in there to get the use the amplifier, it'll give you a mono amplifier, mono. You know what I mean. If you put a stereo jack in there that is a stereo jack for stereo speakers, then you're only going to get mono out. because I've put these two pins together, and I've put these two pins together because these although I've used stereo sockets for a stereo plug from speakers, they're not the same as normal speakers. They don't have a common ground, so never plug normal. Don't put anything but a speaker on these. Don't put any amplifier, don't plug them into amplifiers or anything like that. If you do, you'll just fry something. It won't work. These, you should only put a speaker in. I wonder if I can, let's have a look. Yeah, so let's try 3mm. Let's try jack. Nope. Let's try audio. Right. Oh, right. Plug. Right. Stereo. There we go. Let's get one of them. Right. So one of these goes in there. It plugs in. So you got your shaft, your ring, and your tip. And the way I have wired the speakers is get one of those. So that's the shaft, that's this bit, this is our neutral, so that goes to our speaker, and then we have our ring and tip, and on what I've done is I've done that on one speaker. This is the ring, so that's my right speaker, okay, yeah, for my right speaker, and we got that. And for my left speaker, no, I won't do it. Because the tip is left. If you look it up, you'll find the tip is usually left, and ring for right. Remember, ring for right. And for this one, I have wired it up like that. So, escape of that. Right. So you can see it doesn't matter which speaker's plugged into which side, because the reason I've wired these speakers up is for future projects I do later. I know that if I stick this into a normal stereo socket, it's going to give me the left channel, and if I stick this into a normal stereo socket, it's going to give me the right channel. That's why I've wired my speakers up like this. It's nothing to do with this MP3 player. Because if you're just using it for this MP3 player, you can wire them both one way or the other. It doesn't matter. You can mix them up, match one way or the other way, both the same way. It doesn't matter, because when you plug them into here, the tip and the ring are going to be connected together. You can see there that the tip and ring are connected together. So it doesn't matter which plug you get. In this instance, my speakers are going to get my left channel here, and they're going to get my right channel here, no matter which one I plug in to the sockets. I hope that made some sense. I don't know. That's why I've done it like this. But the one thing to remember is don't plug anything else in there but a speaker wired up, something like that. Basically, don't try and plug your amplifier in there. Don't try to get whatever you do. Let's just minimize that. Oh, what am I doing up here? There. Let's get rid of that as well. let's get rid of that. Right, whatever you do, don't get one of these leads, plug one end into here, into one of these. Don't plug one of these into there and the other one into your computer stereo input, or an amplifier stereo input. You will damage one or the other thing. It will. It's not meant to do that. Do not do that. Don't plug one of these leads in. So you got one of these in there and one of there. You can plug one of these leads in here, in this one. This one is the DAC output. You can put one of these leads. You can put one of these leads into here, and the other end can go into an amplifier or your PC input. But not these two. These two are being wired up special for this type of amplifier. So I just want to make that clear. I don't want people coming back, "You've fried my machine." Do not plug these into anything but a speaker that's wired up like, well, I've lost it now, like this. This is how your speakers should be wired up. You can wire them both like this, or you can wire them both like that, or you can wire one like that and one like that. It doesn't really matter, because we're connecting both the tip and the ring together. Once it goes in there, the tip and ring are on the same track. So it could be something like that. You know, it's going to end up like that, and it's going to end up like that once it's plugged in. But the reason I've wired mine like that is because these speakers that I'm using is what I use for different projects, and sometimes I might want a left and sometimes I might want them at right. Okay, I hope I've got that clear. Right, let's just delete all that, because oh, hang on, what have I just pressed? Delete all that, and let's press save. So that remains as is, basically. Right, yeah, what was I saying? Yes, you may have noticed I paused there. I've been trying to edit this a bit. So as I was saying, you can get one of these and you can plug it into this socket and then this other plug. You can get adapters or anything to plug into whatever amplifier you're testing, or maybe you want to make up another lead that has this on the one end, and you can put something else on this end that plugs into whatever amplifiers you're testing. But basically that's the DAC, digital to analog output, and then there's the sync there. Yeah, so it's important that these are just wired to speakers. Right, and the reason why this video so far has been jumping about is because I've messed some parts up and I've forgotten some others. So I just remembered some things I was going to say. So let's go back to KiCad. Why has that got nothing there? Well, that's better. Should have all that listed. So I'll get back to the schematic. Why have I come back to the schematic? No, I don't need to come back to the schematic, do I? No, I know what I've forgotten. Yeah. My brain's just had a my memory. Right, yes. Yeah. I'll get there in a minute, guys. Sorry, I've just forgotten everything. My memory is so bad. Right, I'm going to pause because I've just my memory's so bad, guys. Okay, I'm back, and I've remembered what I was going to show you. Yeah, I totally forgot. Right, yeah, because I showed you these pictures, and as I was flicking through, where are we? Right, yes. So this is the chip on the underside. So if we hang on, let's just get that. Right, so if we look on the underside and we try to look at what this chip is on here. Now, the thing what the Chinese tend to do, can we zoom in? I don't know if we can actually see what's written on there. But they tend to use chips with the things removed, with what they are, the names. But luckily, let's bring the picture back. Luckily, the two I've got still have the IDs on. Now, if it's got this chip, this is the big chip, not the amplifier chip. If it's got this, it'll say TD5580A. This is the crap one. This is the shit one. It's a voice decoding chip, but it's only a single DAC. Oh, I've just remembered. Right. I'm just going to pause it here, guys. Well, no. Well, I'll show you the other chip. Right. So this is the single one. Okay. This is my mod. And this is the actual good one. This is the good chip. It'll say GD3200B on it, which is this bit here. You can see there. That bit. Which is actually another name for the MH2024K-16SS. Now this comes up in two chip formats. There's some with that looks like a wider chip and got more pins on. It may be the same chip because they come in two different packages, but this is the chip that you want on your DFPlayer to get stereo. So that's the good one. Right, I am going to pause it again. Because, like I say, I forgot to get the date sheets. I'll show you the date sheets. I'll just go and find them and come up with those. So one moment. Right, I found them. Okay, so this is what is was the original, which is the good one. This is stereo. So what we'll do is we'll look at the data sheet for that. I don't want that. What I want is this. Right, yeah. So this, like I said, this is aka the MH2024KS16, which we have here. Let's just bring that back and let's make it bigger. So this is the data sheet. It's this one. There we go, that one. There is others, right? So let's just go down. It's in Chinese. This I have a translated version, but it comes out a bit weird. But this is the chip here. This is the one. And basically, what we can see here. Can you see there in the I can't select it, but basically here you can see DAC left and DAC right. So basically this has got two DACs on it. There, if we look down, so if you can see pins 13 and 14, this says pins, by the way. Right, so we can see 13 and 14. So we've got the DAC right and the DAC left from this chip, this chip here. There we go. And if we look further down the data sheet, we can. Oh, you can see. I don't know if you've looked at the what DFPlayer data sheet, you'll recognise this. You can see all the buttons for it. Let's go down, see if there's anything else. Well, the commands, you can see it's got all the same commands and everything. If you look at if you read the data sheet for the I should have got have I got that? I'm about to tell you. Right, let's just do a bit of comparison. I may as well. I think I've got a data sheet for the DFPlayer as well. No, it's not that one. No, I know where that is. Damn. Is it there? No, that's the same thing. You know. Oh, I wish I should have prepped. I should have got a checklist and everything. Right. Circuits. My DF Platinums. DFPlayer. No, I was in the right place. Yeah, I was looking in the wrong place. There we go. So that's the data sheet, and you can see if we scroll down, we need to go past all this. These are all the commands and everything. But you can see it uses the same, all these commands and everything. So that's what I was trying to show you there. Where was I? That one? That one. Yeah. So it's all in Chinese, but you get my drift there, and it tells you all in Chinese. Let's scroll down. And we've got the communication and everything, and we've got the DAC. This is how I've wired up the DAC on my thing. So we've got the stereo and the DAC coming out left and right, and that's what the microcontroller package looks like. But I think there is a different package as well. That's the yeah. There's two versions. There's one with the 24 pins, and there's a version with the 16 pins. And it's the ones we've got with 16 pins, which is okay, but you will see some with the 24 pins, which are okay. Because if you look there, we've got there you got the DAC left and the DAC right. So if you see one of the one with there is one with a bigger package on it, which uses this one with the 24 pins. That's okay as well. Like I say, there's two versions. So you can see the data sheet, and I've showed you there's two DACs. So we've got the DAC left and we've got the DAC right. But the one that's shit is this one. We're in Chinese again, but I can scroll down. We're using this chip that's on this, like there used to be this demo board which takes a card, but this is more for, it's a single channel thing. It's got a microphone as well. Let's zoom in a bit. You can see there's a thing for a microphone, so you can actually talk to it, and you can it has the buttons forward, repeat, and left, but it uses this chip here, which is just a single. Let's just go back so I can scroll better. So if we go there it is. So there's the chip, and this is the chip that is on the shit one. Where's DAC? There we go. It's got DAC L on it. There's only the left channel. That's all it has. It doesn't have another DAC on it. If we look, there's the 16 pins. So let's have a look. There, DAC output, DAC channel. There's only one DAC output channel on it. There isn't. This chip does not have the right channel. That sounded a bit weird, but left. Right is in right hand, so it has the left. So it only has the one DAC channel. So there's the data sheets for it. And so while we're on data sheets, I also got the We can go back to this. This is the amplifier that's on it, which is just as the outputs for the speaker. So I'd replace that. But what I found was the originals. Let's just go back to this original. Let's find the amplifier. Where's the amplifier? Oh, here's the amplifier there, look. It's using an 8002. Now then, it could be that, but it could be the one I used. The one I've actually used on mine is the LM4871. So I think you can use either one. I mean, they're both pretty much the same. Let's just zoom in a bit. They're both pretty much the same. So if we look at that circuit, this is for the LM4871. That circuit there, you can see it is exactly the same as. Is that full? There we go. Exactly the same for the 80. What was? Oh shit! I forgot. 8002. So there's the 8002, and there's the LM 4871. The LM4871, I found loads of them really. Oh shit, what have I done there? I found loads of these cheap, so these were like 10 for a couple of quid. So that's what I bought, 10 of these. They were really cheap. And these are the ones that I've actually used on my board. And the sound, I can't tell the sound from the module, and the one from the amplifier I put on there. It's exactly the same, so it works for me. So I would go for the LM4871, and we're okay. So that's the data sheets. So I just wanted to show you those to show you that this only has one DAC channel, and this one only has. Let's move back up again. This one has. Is it further up? There we go. There we go. And this one, maybe I just need to go like that. Yeah, this one has two DAC channels. So we've got two DAC channels. We've got the left and right DAC channels on here, and this chip only has the one DAC channel. So it's I'm just well, what more can I say? One's mono, one's stereo. So I just thought I'd tell you, if you've got one of these with the single DAC channel and you think, well, the pins aren't connected to, where are we? Let's have a look. Let's bring this back up again. Let's go back to KiCad. Right, so this is the DFPlayer. There's the amplifier coming out with the speaker 1, speaker 2. Yeah, like I say, it could have been an 8002. And there's the DAC channel, but you can see that what we've got here, where's our DAC channels? Oh, they're on this side. You can see our DAC outputs there. We've got one there and we've got one here, and what they do is they come out to a capacitor. So each one comes out the same, a capacitor, a resistor, and then they're linked, and this is where I do my mod and remove that, which I showed in the first video. And then the channels also continue out. Where are we? DAC one, that one there comes out on comes out on these two capacitors. So they come out and they go to the pins on the module. So these are the pins on the module coming out, which are. I still got that picture. Yep. Let's go back. Yeah, these two pins here. So we've got a DAC left and a DAC right. They come out on these 4 and 5 pins. So you've got your stereo coming out on your DAC. But what they did on the other microcontroller is they only got the left DAC coming out. So what they had was, they have a capacitor. So what they have is, let's just go, they've gone like that. No, that didn't work. They've got the left DAC channel, so if you imagine a wire coming out from there, and what they've done is they've gone like this. Oh, let's just go like that. They've gone like that into two capacitors, and then they've gone them two wires, right? Them two wires go to these two pins. And that's what they do, and they think that you think you know, you can't tell that you're getting a single channel, but that's what they've done on the mono, the mono one. So basically it's a piece of crap. Okay, right. I think I've covered everything now. So I think I've added everything I forgot. I'm sure I've probably forgotten something else as well. So yeah, just let's then end it with a piece of shit, that one, and then let's play out what we got in here. What was 21? Oh, pressing stop. Can you hear that? 21. That reminds me of an old episode in there was a thing with a ghost, a guy with a ghost back in the 60s, I think it was, maybe 70s. Let's try 22. Ah, there's a bit of, I don't know how modern that is. I think there's something more my style. Let's try 24. Yeah, that's more my era. Okay, well, I think I'll leave it at that, guys, and if you've made it all the way to this end, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.